away from the markets into the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, or the FCCPC, which is bearing down on oil marketing companies, asking them to give Nigerians a fair deal in petrol products retailing. And this is the latest in the activities of the FCCPC, which has bared its fangs in the consumer goods sector, financial services, maritime and shipping, and others. Now, the Executive Vice Chairman of the agency and the CEO, Babatunde Irukere, is live with me from Abuja studios for a quick chat to the first half of the 2023, what lies ahead. A warm welcome to the show tonight, and we thank you for making the time on the show.
Good evening, how are you?
Thank you so much. It's good to see you again. Now, give me a rundown of your activities in the first half of the year. Tell me.
The first half of the year has been characterized by, I would say, probably a roller coaster of some sort. Transactions are beginning to pick up again because as we moved into the electoral season, many investors were watching. So from an M&A standpoint, we didn't have that many transactions occurring, but it was actually a time for a lot of pre-notification consultations. On the consumer protection front, enforcement continue. I think companies are recognizing more and more the importance of compliance, especially with respect to misleading consumers. And internally, the agency has continued to grow, settle down a little more, and meeting its revenue projections and even going beyond that.
But what are the dynamics of your intervention so far, in particular around the financial services sector, the maritime sector? Now you're looking at the oil marketing business or petrol marketing.
And well, with respect to the financial services sector, our focus has remained more on continuing to address the belligerent problem with digital lending. It's been reduced, but we're still working as hard as we can to make sure that digital lenders do not violate the privacy of the borrowers and do not charge usury rates that are excessive and unjust. I would say that for the most part, the organized sector there is under control, but you still have some lenders who use unconventional means to even get to consumers. They're not on Google Play Store, and some of them are emerging through APKs and standalone sites that are very difficult to track. Some are marketing by WhatsApp, and so we continue to track and pull down the ones that we can find and engage in consumer education. We publish the list of those who have applied to us and have been approved. We renewed registration because of a continuing demand for additional services, and for some that we took down before that have now complied with the requirements. Outside of digital lending in the financial sector, we closed what was really a transaction that had protracted for a while in capital markets, and we believe that that would strengthen operations and level the playing field in the capital markets. Outside of the financial sector, we have a few investigations that are still open. One is in the power sector, and we continue to work on that. And more recently, we've had to engage Ikeja distribution company and sent a message to the others about constricting vending capabilities in anticipation of a potential increase in tariffs. In other areas of the economy, we continue to monitor what is going on, and I'd say that the economy remains strong. People are experiencing significant hardship, but somehow the key areas of the economy, such as the FMCGs, there seems to be a robust business still occurring there.
Well, the petroleum pricing is the latest issue with the full subsidies and how much petrol should be selling. The pumps, that's a different... But what's on the cards in the second half of the year we're starting now, and the full year, the FCCPC? Are there new strategies, are there new focus that you are pursuing?
Well, the one thing that's going to be very important for us in the second half of the year is more vigilance and more scrutiny. While we recognize and quite frankly understand that unlocking the economy in the long term constitutes some interim hardship to businesses, but at the end of the day, the greatest hardship is in the pocketbooks and in the homes of the consumers. And so while accommodating our understanding for businesses, we're insisting and absolutely unforgiving about conduct that violates the rights of consumers, essentially conduct that's misleading, conduct where prices are excessive, and conduct where consumers are getting less for more. We continue to do advocacy, but in the second half of the year, there'll be a lot more enforcement and penalties associated with violations. On the competition side, we'll continue to monitor the markets and understanding that times of difficulty create vulnerability, especially with small companies. So we're looking to ensure that mergers and acquisitions continue to operate in a way that do not distort the market. And we're making sure that the big technology companies, while finding full expression for their passions, are not engaging in killer acquisitions that destroy ideas or constrict supply in the market space.
All right, we'll keep an eye with your operations there at the FCCPC. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed in the first half and what lies ahead. Thank you so much, Babatunde Irukere, the Executive Vice Chairman and CEO at the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Do have a great evening and wish you all the best. Let's get to the marketplace with the African Securities Exchange Association, or ASEA, which has onboarded a tech company named Second Stocks in Ghana to further the second phase of the African Exchange Linkage Project, or the AELP. Eugene Tawia is the founder and CEO of Second Stocks, and he joins me live now from Accra for a chat to this latest development. Akwaba to you, sir, and great having you on the show tonight. Congratulations on your company's latest deal with the ASEA, by the way. So, tell me more about this deal.
Thank you, Bosan. So the deal really for us is a synergistic fit. Second Stocks has a mission to really go across the continent and provide modern technology that connects all of the capital markets together. And ASEA, as you know, is the association that represents all of the exchanges. So we saw this as a perfect matching where we can bring our technical and operational expertise to an organization that is looking to really fulfill the goals and strategy of a connected African capital markets ecosystem. Yeah.
Okay, so what are your deliverables? You're just touching on that, by the way. What are you meeting on the ground in the first phase, and how does that complement what's been done so far as we move into the second phase of the AELP?
Right. So, I mean, for us, I think a lot of it is coming from the fact that we are building an ecosystem. So AELP, the link, is providing access between all of the exchanges in phase one, and also in phase two, we'll be adding more exchange for execution. We are bringing other tools like research, like news, things like Arise will now be available as part of that ecosystem. We are also looking at KYC, so how do you onboard investors easily? And as well as the analytics around all of this, so somebody can go from seeing a trade idea, understanding based on research that the various brokers across the continent are putting out, to coming up with a trade idea and being able to execute it. So we see ourselves as effectively an enabler that can then push forward what ASEA has already set their eyes on doing in bringing this linkage project to all of the exchanges across the continent.
Well, broadly speaking, what's your outlook on this project, by the way? How significant do you think it is in terms of using technology support infrastructure that indigenous companies like Second Stocks in Ghana provides without going abroad, or what I mean abroad, going to the Western world or Asia to get the right infrastructure to support intra-Africa trade, the payment system, the kind of exchanges that we're talking about, linking 7, 10, 20, 23, 25 exchanges on the continent together onto a single platform, making use of indigenous tech organizations such as yours?
Yes, and we are a fintech. We are providing modern technology for financial services, except we are focused on the institutional side for investing. Look, Bosan, I think for us, it's testament to us being part of the change that we want to see. Africa's capital markets has been in existence for a while. This is an opportunity for us, wherever we've been, to bring that knowledge to bear and really help push a lot of those initiatives that will get us the growth and expansion of our capital markets. We are based in Ghana. That's where we started from. We also have a footprint in Nairobi. We should be in Nigeria soon, and we continue to expand and really bring in the skills of understanding the needs of the brokers, the institutional investors across all of these spaces to a solution that really solves the problems that they have. So I think for us, it's a great time. If you look at the backdrop of things like the AFCFTA that is bringing the biggest market on the planet together, being able to drive the strategy for capital markets is huge for us, and we are very honored to be part of this process with the partnership with ASEA.
Okay, what are you learning on the ground now being part of the project? I know it's still early days. This was just signed just about a week or so ago. In terms of all the parties involved in the African Exchange Linkage project, you talk about many exchanges across different jurisdictions, different technology, different nuances, as it were, and now you're trying to put the whole hub together and make it work. What are you learning in terms of working with all the partners involved? From the EFDB on one side providing some funding, ASEA itself, you're working with the PAPSS and others. Tell me.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head again there. I think there are 54 countries on the continent. If you take out the Francophone zones that already have a collective there in BVRM and BVMAC, every other exchange is standing on its own. So you can imagine the complexity of going at this from the point of view of a broker-dealer or an asset manager or a pension fund for that matter, who sits on a lot of assets that needs to be invested for the long term. So we are seeing this as an opportunity to simplify, make these workflows manageable, and put the right modern tools in the hands of the traders, the portfolio managers, the people in operations and trade management, so they can manage their risk more effectively, and more importantly, also be able to meet the regulatory requirements that exist within each of these jurisdictions. So a lot of what we are doing is taking the lead on educating all these key stakeholders, the regulators, the exchanges themselves, the broker-dealers as well, and taking all of that feedback that they provide us into the product and making sure we are driving at it from the point of view that we are solving the inefficiencies that exist. And we see as part of one of the goals for ASEA to really drive price discovery and volumes for all of these markets, that we are an enabler, a capable partner to make that reality. So we are happy to be here.
Interesting, and congratulations once again for being part of the African Exchange Linkage project. Thank you so much, Eugene Tawe, who is the founder and CEO so much of Second Tax in Accra, Ghana. Thank you so much. You keep in touch with everyone to see how the project is ongoing across at least 7 exchanges right now on the continent.